All right. Hello, everybody. This is Marcel here at Come Draw With Me. It's a show for YouTubers to just come out, hang out, and draw. I'll be drawing today and every day during the week, Monday to Friday, for about 3 hours a day, from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. That's Pacific time. So I'm here in my little studio. I have my image I'm working on right now. It's fairly large. I keep it covered in plastic in case, just to prevent any kind of dust or anything getting on it while I'm not working on it. All of my finished pieces are here behind me in this very large pile. And what I'm doing today is just hanging out and drawing with you guys, so that we can all just hang out and work together, really. This is a very large image of Darth Vader. And what I have is on my computer over here. I should get things set up before I do my show, but this is the first one, so we're just seeing how things go. Anyway, I use a very old version of Illustrator. I have my image in Illustrator, and it is graphed, and then I apply a graph to this sheet of paper here, pencil in the image, and I use Micron pens. Micron pens are just something that I happen to enjoy using, and it takes like a couple of months for each image. They're very large. The page has some texture on it, and yeah, I have a number of tools that I need to use. Anyway, I'm sure if you are an artist, you have your own tools, and hopefully you can come back here every day and draw with me. The idea is that if you just want to hang out and leave a comment, I'll try to reply, and I will eventually be setting up a Patreon. So if you're really into this and you think it's worth it, yeah, you can help me out, because that would be great. But I'm doing this anyway, and the whole spirit of this venture is to hang out with people online, especially during this period of COVID that we're in. Lots of people are at home. And if you have kids and they want to be artists and they want to have the guy on YouTube talk to them, you can feel free to have them ask questions. You can just type them in for them, and I will do my best to keep an eye on what's happening and answer any questions that they might have. All right, so I'm just going to set up my computer and get to work. I might have to stop every now and then to deal with something on here. Hopefully not too often. I'm going to play a live stream of music that I've talked to the person hosting it. None of the music is copyrighted, so hopefully I shouldn't have any problems with that. The live stream channel of music that I listen to is called Vill, VILL4. VILL4. How do you spell this? Yeah, VILL4IN, the number 4 and IN. Vill. Whoops. So just opening my file to work with here. I don't know how clear this is for you guys. Probably not so clear. Anyway, I have my picture of Darth Vader here, and I've transferred that image onto here using a graph. I've penciled it in, and yeah, I'm just going to get to work inking it, and we will see how it goes. Hopefully, eventually one day we'll have some actual people in the stream, and you know, we can build a little community here. That's the idea. We want artists to get together, and if you're a musician or an editor, video editor, anything like that, yeah, it's a good place to come and hang out, chill, and just do your thing, knowing that other people are hanging around doing their thing as well. So I have a piece of paper here, so I rest it on the page, and I have a little pillow, and I rest my arm on the pillow. This pillow here, it's basically just an old towel wrapped in a plastic bag and taped together so that it's the bag doesn't come loose. Anyway, this works as a great pillow, and I can sit here and rest my arm while I'm working. I have a very large number of pens. These are all pens of varying vintage. So some of these are super new and really dark, and some of these are not so new and they're fairly light. So it allows me to get lighter and darker tones on the page using different pens. So right now I have a 01 Micron pen. It's pretty old, so it allows me to get some really light tones. So I'm going to use that. I don't know if you can see, I have a giant piece of cardboard on my window right now. Usually it's pretty sunny. These days, however, it's been overcast here. I'm near Vancouver in British Columbia. It's been overcast with a lot of smoke from the fires coming up from the States. So it's pretty gray outside. And for a lot of people, it's really difficult to breathe. So this is a week to be indoors if you're on the west coast of Canada. So hopefully, if you're watching this now or watching this later, some other time in the future, you're sitting down and working in your space and writing, drawing, or painting, or playing music, or doing something that is otherwise creative. Being creative is really important because the world is a difficult place to live in, and we oftentimes feel like we're stuck and not sure how to deal with it. So I find that being creative is something that just makes me a really happy person. So in that sense, being creative is a bit selfishly motivated. But it's happiness from creativity that I bring to the people in my family and the people that I know. And so makes me shine a little bit brighter and hopefully bring that happiness to other people. And it's easy to focus on the negative if you don't have a place to extract happiness from. But if you're a happy person and you can bring that to other people, then you're going to make a huge difference. So you can be creative for creativity's sake. And even if you're not happy, you're in a dark place, creativity is a way to communicate that. And art helps people understand all of the different ways that people can feel. And hopefully, even if you're in a dark place, by successfully communicating that through your art, be a little less dark. Here, even this guy, Darth Vader, he managed to get things sorted out. So all of my images that I have are fairly large. I used to work in a very small format, just with a tiny little art pad. And I spoke with an artist who suggested working much larger. So that's all my pieces over the last couple of years have been fairly large. And now this, to me, seems small. It's pretty big. But yeah, it seems quite small to me. And I'd like to go even larger. But for now, I'm just doing this. I like to stick with the focus for what I'm doing. All right, let's see. Do we have any information here about this stream? Doesn't look like it. That's okay. I wonder if the volume on this is good. I hope so. Anyway, it's just the first one. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this channel out to other artists. I really have no idea how to do that. So we'll see about that. But I would love to build a community of creative people online who can work together and share their stuff and create opportunities, you know? That's the idea. I gotta change this picture here. Yeah, this takes a real long time. You have to be super patient. And I don't mind. I've thought about getting into different types of ink wash to go down, to put some inks, light inks, beneath the pen. I just started experimenting with that, and it looks a little bit different than the effect of just using the pen. But I, yeah, I'm not sure that I like it very much. But it's fun to experiment and think of new ways of innovating on your style and technique. You know, I used to be really worried about what people would think, and that is just a waste of time. You just got to stick with where you're at, what you like. It's funny, you know, some days these pens work super well and they're super consistent, and other days it's just like a totally different pen. It doesn't seem to be working at all. It's kind of funny. Last night this pen was working quite well. So what I'm doing here is, this pen is quite old or well-loved, and the ink is flowing very lightly. So in this case, it's giving me a very light application. It's not going on the paper dark at all. And once I have that down, it's just like shading in pencil basically. I can add darker tones with pens that provide a heavier ink flow. So these Micron pens, they're great. I only use Micron pens. They, for me, are the most consistent and readily available. So that's why I use them. I know that there are other pens out there to use, and that there's as many pens as there are people, almost. So if you want to experiment with ink pens, I recommend Sakura pens, but you might want to go with something else. When I use pencils, do I have any pencils here? No, I don't. Anyway, I usually use Staedtlers. I usually use Staedtler pencils. I have lots of tools here. I have my brush for brushing eraser bits. Keeps my page clean. I have my different rulers for applying, using the grid, so I know where to put what I'm doing. The grid has numbers down the side and letters across the top. Top and bottom are letters. So columns are lettered and rows are numbered. So I can just go to 14G, and I have the inch square here. So I know exactly what I need to apply in that space. Of course, as you can see, I'm standing by my table, but you might have a desk that you can sit at. Or if you're super lucky, you're outside. A sunny day, maybe doing a watercolor or something. So I think today what I'm going to try and do is shade up and around the top of his helmet. Again, this is Darth Vader. I don't know how well you can see this, You see, yeah, it looks like Darth Vader. So I'm just going to try and lay down some light inks here today. It takes an insane amount of time. It's crazy. But anyway, that's what we're doing. I have my matcha tea. All right. Let's do this here. So this channel is for artists and creative people. It's for everybody, really. And the idea is to, whether you've been drawing all your life or being creative for a long time, or today's your first day, hopefully, you know, this channel can inspire you to, yeah, get creative. If you've never tried it, you got to do it. But you got to be careful because once you get started, it's really hard to stop. The way that this is being filmed is from my, see if I can adjust the camera a tiny little bit. It's from my home on my computer, and it's a little bit better. Yeah, so I have this cardboard here. It usually blocks out the sunlight. Anyway, I'm using my laptop. The camera is not so good because the laptop is fairly old. It's a MacBook Pro. Unfortunately, Apple laptops aren't so well known for their high quality cameras. But anyway, this is a very old laptop, and when I created this account, Come Draw With Me, I just thought, I don't know, I'd set up a rig and have a phone. But you can't live stream unless you have 1,000 subs. Live stream from a mobile device. So I just use what I have. And with 0 subs, you use a laptop. So that's what I'm doing. If by this program I could choose to inspire anybody, it would be kids. It's for everybody. But I would love for a young person to use this channel as a source of encouragement. Sometimes young people are born into families where those families are not understanding of creative people. And for some creative people, being creative is just like breathing. And if your family doesn't want you to breathe, it can be pretty tough if breathing for you is being creative. Yeah, so the music that's playing here is on a channel called Villain. They have a 24-hour live stream. Um, live stream, let's see here, it says 24/7 ambient. Live stream ambient music is a kind of electronic music. It says cyberwave, vaporwave, and dream punk stream. And the channel is Villain, VILL, with the number 4 replacing the AIN. And it's a really great channel. I listen to it all the time. The music is usually pretty relaxing and really allows your imagination to get going. So it's very complementary to being in a creative, having a creative frame of mind. I wish I could show you a close-up of what I'm doing, but it would be really unmanageable with a laptop. But one day we'll have 1,000 subs, and then I'll be able to use a phone. Speaking of a phone, I'm going to see if I can actually see this channel on my phone. Connect to the internet. Whoops. Let's see. Oh, some messages. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find this channel on my phone. That would be weird. Okay. Come draw. Come draw with me. Ah, that's weird. It's right at the second one. Oh, come draw with me. Somebody else already has come draw with me. 87,000 views. Wow. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's not the name of their channel. Ooh, lots of subscribers. Holy banana. Okay, so that's why it showed up, because it's not me. All right, let's see. Come draw with me. Come draw with me. Subscribe. Wow, lots of come draws with me. Holy cow. There's already come draw with me. There are other channels with the same name. Well, that's weird. Lots of come draw with me channels. Draw with me, draw with me. See, I probably should have looked into this before I got started, but I didn't. Holy bananas, there is a lot of come draw with me here. All right, I might have to change my, change something here. Let's try this. Come draw with me live. I guess I'm not showing up here. Anyway, that's probably because I have no views and no subs. All right, well, we'll see how this little project of ours goes, right? Yeah. Who knows? Maybe after doing this for a couple of weeks, you know, it should probably grow and change, and I don't know what's going to happen, but find ways of getting the word out. It's all new to me. So we'll just let it grow and see what happens. So the plan right now is to keep this channel going for a couple of months. And I'll do what I can to bring artists in somehow, figure it out. And the more people here, the more of a positive, creative environment we're gonna enjoy. Where's your live stream? I want to watch you. It's a good question. I couldn't find it. Yeah, let me respond. Let's see. Well, I have no idea where my live stream is. It is live though. It's called Come Draw With Me. Period. Turns out there's a lot of other Come Draw With Me YouTubers. Period. On YouTube, what's the channel? Aye. The channel is called, quote, Come Draw With Me, end of quote, period. Not drive, draw. All right. Anyway, it's very nice. Somebody wants to watch. My wife, in fact. Anyway, I cannot remember what I was saying. So yeah, how I got started drawing was I would go to my grandmother's house, and she had a closet in the kitchen where she kept old cereal boxes. And when I would come over to visit, she would cut them up with scissors, and I was allowed to draw on the inside of the cereal boxes. My grandmother was French speaking. She didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any French. So when I visited her, there wasn't much to do except draw. And she was not an artist. So I was just drawing with whatever was around. probably just pencils. Anyway, that's how I got my start. My mom and my grandmother would just sit chatting in French over coffee, and I would eat cookies and draw. I really didn't want to do anything else, actually, once I got into it. So naturally, I got into comic books and started drawing those. But I could never really get the hang of comic book art. So I just drew whatever was in my head. Dragons and Star Wars. You know, hopefully one day in the future there'll be like 100 people on here and I can ask how you got started. There wasn't really anybody in my family that was much of an artist. I have one older sister who is very artistic, but she didn't really draw or paint, as far as I remember. She lives in Mexico now and is a chocolate artisan. She makes really nice chocolates. So on this image, I'm just doing square inch by square inch of the light ink application coming from this fairly old pen. And it's an extremely slow process. Oh, she can't find it. I wonder why. It says here it's live. Maybe I should stop. Welcome to live chat. Live chat. Participants. Studio. Stream live. What is this? Oh, I can share this on Facebook? All right, let's share it on Facebook. All right, I just shared it on Facebook. Hey yo, comma. I've just shared this on Facebook. This is so bad. Facebook, period. Give that a try, period. Yeah, let's see if we can find it on Facebook here. Oh yeah, there it is. How weird is that? Oh, there's a little bit of lag. That's funny. All right. Anyway, enough of that. Did you find it? Question mark. I did. Period. Go on my Facebook page. Period. It's there. Exclamation mark. So as you can see, this is totally new, and I kind of have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it anyway. There's probably a ton of hashtags or metadata I could attach to my live stream, but I don't know how to do that, and I'll have to figure it out as we go. She found it. So drawing with ink is kind of tricky sometimes, because every now and then you're going to get a pen that blobs onto the paper, and a typical eraser will sometimes help you remove some of the ink. So I have 3 kinds of erasers that I use. The first kind of eraser is pretty standard, just a regular gum eraser. I usually use this just for the pencil and cleaning up the page after I'm done. This kind of eraser doesn't really work so well with helping you remove ink. So here I have a Sakura electric eraser. They sell these boxes of nibs. They have a little holder here, and the nib just goes in the holder, and the holder just goes in the tip of the eraser. So there's a little button there, and that little baby just spins. And so this is excellent. It just works so much better than a regular eraser. However, sometimes you have a big spill from your pen, and I bought a bunch of these erasers. These are like, they're really rough. They're really thick. It feels like a tire tread on your bike, like in terms of consistency, it's thick. And I carved these out into nib shapes and go with the paper here. And these white ones are proper erasers, and they will just lift pencil clean off the surface, and ink, it will take a little bit of ink off. This is going to, if you're not careful, put a hole in your paper. So you have to be super gentle with it, and I find if you carve them up and put them in here, you can be extremely accurate. You have a higher level of accuracy than with something like this. Anyway, it's a workaround if you get too much ink on your page. But it can really trash your page, so you have to be careful. So the idea is to have this channel running from Monday to Friday. Working in the studio here together, and creating a little community of artists. And the idea is that eventually we will expand. That's the idea. So I might take YouTube and make little sort of advertisements and put them on drawing pages on Facebook. I'm not sure. But it seems like the most logical thing to do. So that people know Come Draw With Me exists. And that way we can get artists and painters and everybody in here. Let's see. Oh, nice. Well, today is a perfect day. Thank you for the likes. 2 likes, that's crazy. Anyway, if you're out there and you want to leave a comment, go ahead, be my guest. Tell me what you're doing. How's COVID treating you? Hopefully well. And be safe. I have no idea about the rules for YouTube concerning music on your channel. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Preparing a yoga class right now. Hooray! That's my very first comment. Today is a good day. Well, as we all know, yoga is a very, very creative art. So, although it never occurred to me to invite yoga teachers to this channel, how could I forget or overlook them? Yoga teachers are just as creative as film directors. So anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I don't know about the rules for music on YouTube. I'll have to look into those. Like I said, I have this channel going. The channel is called Villain. Oops, where'd it go? VILL numeral 4IN, Villain live stream. They have a nice live stream. So I'll have to find out different ways of bringing music into this live stream. Like, I don't know if there's a way to overlay this live stream so it's a bit easier and clearer for you guys to hear it. So taking this pen and doing all of this area here, it's going to take a couple of days. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be working on this. Oh, more comments. Oh, you can't really hear the music? Okay. You're not, it's more for me than it is for you, but. You can turn it on in your own home. So yeah, anyway, the speed, this top part is going to take, easily a day and a half. So you have to be patient. And that's what a lot of people don't know, and they're seeing when they're looking at art or a film or a novel or even a short story. Is the patience exercised by the artist to execute their craft. The development of that patience not only helps to produce the project, but it creates the artists themselves. The artist has to walk through the never-ending fire of patience. And the product of that patience is something that benefits everybody. And as an artist, you know, if you become a teacher, you choose your words carefully and you communicate how to learn patience while teaching how to do art. So the student expects to, student comes to the teacher expecting to learn art, and to do so, they have to grow and develop as a person. And even if your work is really fast, you know, I used to do live drawings where you would have like 15 seconds to just render as much as you can of figure. And so even in those 15 seconds, you are developing a kind of confidence. And a patience with yourself that whatever you do in 15 seconds is going to be just fine. So with this show, for example, come draw with me. The idea is to start with nothing. All I have is myself to share. And very patiently see what happens from sharing myself with other people. But in the end, it will be other artists coming in and hanging around and talking together, sharing ideas that will provide the most joy and happiness for people. and that will have nothing to do with me. One way I'm going to benefit from doing this show is I have 10 till 1 p.m. locked in for this. And the idea is that you'll have 10 to 1 p.m. Pacific time anyway, locked in for your project. And the goal is to increase our productivity together. Or if you're not interested in being productive, to increase your enjoyment of being creative. And after the 3 hours is up, you're feeling good, and you have something to look forward to tomorrow. And each day, you take that good feeling with you wherever you go. And hopefully each day that increases and produces its own results. You know, the results of feeling good are usually pretty positive, and that's what we want. But while we're in the studio, and while we're doing our work, we don't want to worry about anything else other than what we're doing in the studio and what we're working on. Everything else will come when it comes. You know, when you're there's a saying that I said that the tree grows the peach, and the peach grows the tree. I don't know if you've heard that before, but the tree
produces something, and as that thing is produced, it adds to the tree. So the tree grows the peach grows the tree. And the same is true for art, which is you have a work that you make, and to the extent that you are working on a project, you are being worked on. You grow the art, and the art grows you, in a sense, or in a manner of speaking. And if that process is a process that brings you happiness, then not only do you grow the art and the art grows you, but you are much happier for it. Whether the tree experiences happiness by growing a fruit, I don't know. But I'm guessing that it does. Things that are in a condition of not being well don't tend to grow very well. And if the production of art doesn't make you feel too thrilled, but you like doing it anyway, maybe you can find some music to listen to give you a leg up on your happiness. Or maybe play a favorite movie in the background. Or come hang out with some happy people, you know? That's how we do. So I'm super curious about how YouTube channels, little live streams like this,
Get well known.
that would be really interesting to find out. Or how, like, when I started this, I couldn't even find it on a search, So many things to discover. It's one thing to watch YouTube passively.
There's so much content to enjoy. But once you put something up and out there, then all of a sudden you have to start figuring out how YouTube actually works.
So I'm still laying down this light application of ink with the same old pen. So today I'm going to do this large area in this light layer of ink on my paper. And then tomorrow I will come back here, and hopefully you will too. And I'll start doing a little bit of darker area over here. And then we'll move on. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe by the end of this week, all of this area here will be done. Let's see if I can show you my progress. So these pens scattered across the table are pens that I kind of use every now and then. So I will just put them to the side. Here's my eraser. Here are my rulers. You always have to be careful when you're using a ruler with a hard edge, like this. For example, I was using this T-square ruler for making the grid lines. Unfortunately, when I bought it, I was kind of new to working on large images. And what I didn't realize was when I purchased this, there's a couple of problems with this product. Number one, this is tiny, has a tiny little wiggle to it. So this reduces its effectiveness as a T-square because the lines are going to be just off by a couple of millimeters. I don't know if you can see that. You see how it moves just a tiny little bit? Anyway, the lines are going to be inconsistent. And the price tag on there is a $35 ruler. So that was disappointing. The other thing is that you can see these really sharp metal edges. So here on the bottom, I've added some tape. You might be wondering why I've added tape there, because if you are moving this around your paper, and an edge connects with your paper, it's going to leave a mark that you can't get rid of with an eraser or any other tool. And the piece that you've been working on is trashed. So honestly, this should probably just go in the garbage. I don't even use it. It's $35, $36 down the drain. What I should have done, I guess, is returned it, right? So this is much better. Square doesn't move at all. These do have corner edges, but they're not heavy like the other one was. So swinging that other beast around this is super light, so it's much easier to control. Like you're not gonna, the weight of it is not gonna sort of create a problem with losing the momentum of its weight. Isn't gonna make you slide and hit your paper unexpectedly. This is much lighter. It works really well. You know, and they come in different sizes, so you can work on larger or smaller areas. Anyway, this is my brush. So I cover all my artwork with sheets of paper, or sheets of plastic. So let's see how this is going. This is an old drafting table. It's literally the flat part of the drafting table. So you can see the size of this thing. It's quite large. And you can see what I've done here. So, right there, I'm going to try and do the top arc curve around the top of his helmet this week. But it's I avoid setting dates and deadlines too much, because life can happen and get in the way of your deadlines. And so try to create realistic deadlines, but be flexible about it. Because, you know, life is going to happen, and I get really fussy about deadlines. So sometimes if a deadline doesn't come together, then I get upset about it. So I kind of avoid using deadlines. And so I have targets that I aim for, and I don't worry about it if I don't hit it, you know, unless it's got to be ready for a show. Then you have no choice. Thank you for your nice comment. You know, that's another thing about commenting. That every artist, musician, videographer, you know, they're working really hard. And if you have an artist or a creator of any kind that you like, you should definitely let them know. And while a lot of people criticize social media, and there's a lot to be critical about, social media is a great way to get in touch with your favorite creators and just let them know that you love their work. That definitely puts fuel in the tank for creators. It really motivates them. And even if it's just one person leaving one tiny little comment, it can change the life of a creator. So even if you are a creator, and maybe especially if you're a creator, you want to get out there on Twitter, avoid the stuff that you're not into. Find an artist that you like, find a teacher that you like, and tweet them a nice compliment because it's free. But you know, compliments are priceless. And they change people's lives. They encourage people to continue and be strong and be motivated to be creative. And that's what this channel is for people to get in here and for people to encourage each other to be strong and to be motivated and to be creative. So one day I'll look back on this channel, this episode, and hopefully I'll be like, wow. I remember when there was just like 2 or 3 people watching, and now there's like 200 or 300. But we'll see. It's not about the numbers. I have found that for me, doing this in a standing position is easiest. Believe it or not, a couple of years ago, I really couldn't stand at all due to an injury that I had, and that injury was, it took a long time for that injury to be fixed. So I used to sit here, and I worked on a different kind of paper. It was this Arche paper here. I don't know if I can. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anyway, this Arche paper is what I used to work on. It's a big, heavy stock paper. It's got this heavy, heavy texture to it. And what I found is that this paper has a lighter texture. It's quite thick. It's a very heavy stock. I forget the number of what it weighs. These are 300-pound papers, sheets of paper. They're really, really heavy, kind of like if you could turn denim into paper, that's what this is like. Anyway, standing over the paper, I can get my pen around all of the ridges in a much easier way. New subscriber. New subscriber is Carrie Marco. All right. Yay, Carrie. Thank you. I'll close that. That's cool. All right. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So for me, standing over the sheet of paper, it's easier for me to get around all of the ridges. Whereas before, I used to be sitting and this was at an angle like this, and I wasn't able to cover the paper evenly with the kind of ink coming from the pen that I use. So now that my injury has more or less resolved itself, I'm able to stand. And I know that I'm really lucky to be able to do so. I know a lot of people aren't able to do that due to a handicap or an injury or something like that. So you should definitely work in whatever way makes you comfortable and that you're happy to work in, right? That you're able to be productive. One thing that isn't so easy to repair, you know, your body, if you have an injury, you can get over it. My computer here is quite old. I don't know if you can hear it, but the fan goes on almost instantly. It heats up really fast. So one day I look forward to, getting a new computer, right? But this is what I have, so it works just fine. And new computers cost a lot of money, you know what I mean? So not everybody has the cash to get the latest thing. But if you are thinking about buying computers, don't buy an Apple one right now. So this is an Apple, it's an iMac. Apple has ditched Intel for their silicon. Apple will be creating a whole new lineup using their own silicon. So that means that it kind of future-proofs your computer to buy the new Apple silicon, iMacs and laptops. So for example, if you have an iPhone, you're going to notice that you get a lot of updates. And the updates are frequent and they're effective. And that's because Apple is managing all of the performance of the phone because it builds all of the phone's components itself. So Apple iPhones, watches, iPads, they update easily. And so now that Apple is basically running and building every part of the MacBook Pros and desktop computers, they'll be able to update much more frequently and more reliably. So if I'm going to buy a new computer, I'm definitely going to wait. Plus, since Apple Silicon is going to be a big new thing, you can expect that you'll get some nice redesigns. on those products. And because Apple knows that you are moving from an Intel processor to their own processors, they're going to want to encourage you to buy their new products, so they will reduce the price at first. And then, regular, super expensive Apple prices. So hey, you can become a patron of my channel if you want and help me get a new computer in like 5 years. I'll get the Patreon link up as soon as I figure that out. But if you use, whatever you have available to use, Apple products, Windows, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, I'm standing here. You can see my back is bent over a little bit. I'm kind of hunched over. You got to make sure that you are taking care of your body so that you can keep creating art. You have to exercise and stretch your legs, do whatever stretches you need to do for your hands, for your wrists. For me, I need to make sure that, my core is a bit strong and tight. It doesn't always work out that way, but after a long day of drawing, I feel it most in my back, so I have to take care of my body and do some stretches. And that actually helps me relax more and I feel better. So coming back to the drafting table is easy. It's basically what I live for, I guess I'm going to have to create a Facebook channel for this page. I don't know. Or Twitch or something. I have no idea. There's so many social media platforms. And I have no idea how they work. So I'll have to figure that out. Today not only do you have to be creative here, but you have to be creative in finding ways to get people to see your stuff, just don't want to worry about it too much. So I'll get maybe these live streams, I'll get them out on Facebook. Facebook is a platform that I'm familiar with, so maybe that shouldn't be so difficult. But I don't know about any of the others. Maybe if this thing grows, people can comment and let me know. Not if, when. Oh, what's this? Oh, yay. Sorry, guys, just checking my mail. Lots of mail, hey? Do you get a lot of mail? I get a lot of mail. So the idea is for me is that I have about maybe 9 of these images over here in this pile. Let's see if I can. You can see over there. So I don't know. There should be about 10 images. So all in all, we got about 10 images here, and we're good. Yeah, we're good. All in all, we got about 10 images. So I'm going to have a bring them to a photographer, and she is going to shoot each photo. And the idea is that once they're done, they're going to go up on Instagram, where obviously I'll send people to. They can take a look, and hopefully we can work it out so that I get some attention through Instagram for these very large images. All of them are Star Wars, so I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and they're all characters. I think they're all helmeted characters with helmets, some kind of helmet or head covering or face covering. And, in my heart, these are all for George Lucas. I love him as a creator, and he's really affected my entire life. So, when I started out with this series, I just thought of what I loved as a kid and what I still love today, and that's George Lucas's vision for Star Wars. So, how can I say except that these already belong to him in a sense? Obviously, I would love it for him to contact me and fill his offices with these. But of course, I don't expect that to happen. So I'm having a photographer shoot them for me. In fact, she is also a Star Wars fan, so that works out well. And put them up on Instagram and see what happens, right? Hopefully, well, I'm following the model of another artist. Oh man, I'm forgetting her name right now. CJ Hendry. CJ Hendry. She's my inspiration for working so large. In fact, before she became super famous, and this goes this goes out to a comment I was making earlier about complimenting people. It can have real, actual benefits. So I saw CJ Hendry's work. Go check her out on Instagram, CJ Hendry, Hendry. Pretty sure that's how you spell it. They'll pop up. And her works are gorgeous, unbelievably gorgeous, and very, very large. Now she's moved on from ink, and she's doing pencil crayon images, large scale, hyper realistic pencil crayon images. So I sent her an email way back in the day. Well, not way back in the day, but anyway, 2015, I think. Or maybe it was before then. I can't remember exactly. I have to check the email. And I sent her an email complimenting her work. So you never know what's going to happen when you compliment somebody's work. Are you going to hear from them? Are they going to get back to you? But that's not the point. The point is to say, hey, yo, like, your work is amazing. I really like it. I just want to communicate that to you. Have a good day. I added that I work with pens, and I asked her about her inspiration. So she actually wrote me back, which was crazy. These days, she's huge. She's massive. You'll see when you go look her up. Anyway, she wrote me back, and she said that she felt had a very emotional response to my email. And she said, a couple of things. She'd never had a website. She just had her stuff up via Instagram. So if you're an artist and you want to get your stuff out there, she did not become successful or famous via a personal website. She just put her stuff up on Instagram. An art dealer found her, but that's secondary information. She said basically what you want to do is create very large scale images so that when somebody walks into a room, that's what they notice first. And at the time, I was working from, standard size art pads. And those art pads allowed me to exercise my craft, but they certainly were not a size which would automatically draw someone's attention to them. So if someone has in their home what is called a feature wall, the feature wall is where you do some kind of artistic presentation. So something of this size might, although probably not too great for a living room, but anyway, who knows, would be good for a feature on a feature wall because it's so large. So she said, work large and choose an aesthetic that you like in terms of how you want to present your material on Instagram. So I had asked her in my email about her choices, and she said that she really enjoyed the way Apple presented itself in their advertisements, which is basically a very minimalist presentation to demonstrate the appearance and functionality of the product, but with an emphasis on its appearance and the minimalist approach to their presentation. So if you go on her Instagram page, you're going to see that all of the photography for her ink work is in black and white, and all of the photography is extremely minimalist. There's The room is totally empty. It's just her and her work. And the thing about that is that it looks very simple, like she's just standing in an empty room with her work. But the amount of craft that's going on behind the camera in terms of lighting and all of that, the execution of how to take a good photograph, the fact that the picture looks so simple is speaks to the amount of work that goes into the photography. So everybody has a camera on their phone, and you can choose your own aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with shooting in a place like this if that's what you want to do. But if you go to her page, it's really great. Anyway, so she inspired me quite a lot to work on a large scale. And since receiving her email right away, I just went and started doing that. And as I said at the beginning of this video, now this seems small to me. It takes them forever to do, but this seems small and I'd like to go much, much larger. So my main influences and the people that I have the most gratitude towards that are artists for this series would be George Lucas and his vision for Star Wars, and CJ Henry. Go check out her site. It's ridiculous. She's such an amazing artist. And, you know, I owe her a debt of gratitude for responding to my email. So don't be shy, you know, communicate with artists, and you know, they can completely change how you do your stuff in the best possible way. Oh, a new subscriber. Okay, cool. Thank you, NC, for subscribing to my channel. That's very kind of you. All right, so we're doing good. Started out with no subscribers, now I have 2. All right, so it's 12 o'clock. We have 1 hour left. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to go from 10 till 1 Pacific time, Monday to Friday. And this project, I was thinking September, October, November. By the end of November, or mid-November now, because it's mid-September, by mid-November, we'll see where it's at and make a decision about whether we want to keep going with this or do something else, something different. So when you start a YouTube live stream, YouTube asks you if it's for kids or not. And if the content is for kids, then there is no way to make a comment on the live stream for various reasons. And basically it's to protect kids and to keep everything clean in terms of suitability for what is communicated on the channel. So the person that owns and operates the channel is responsible for the channel content, and if it's designed for kids, they don't have to worry about what's going on in the comments, right? Makes sense. So because I want to have comments, I put that this is not for kids, right? Obviously. But really, if there's any kids out there that want to talk or ask a question, I will very happily answer it. So parents can come on here with their kids hanging around, and they can ask a question. And if the kids are crazy about having some YouTube character answer their questions, I'd be happy to do that. And it doesn't matter, they could be like 5 years old or 50. All the kids, you know? So yeah, I don't have art on a web page yet. I don't have any artwork on my Instagram. Because I haven't met with my photographer yet. I have to finish this image here, and one more image is like 90% done. I just have to finish it up. And then it goes to the photographer. And I'm super curious about how she's going to shoot this stuff, because apparently photographing art is quite difficult. And it's, you know, not going to lie, it's expensive, man. So you're really, I've tried to find specific photographers who specialize in shooting artwork, and I haven't really found any. But you know, this photographer that I do know, she's extremely skilled, and I trust her. So hopefully that works out. So you can see on my picture here, and you can see on the artwork there, there's an arc here, there's an arc there, and I'm at H3. So I go down here, H, and 3 is here. And if you've never drawn using graph before, I used to do my artwork freehand, portraits and stuff. And they turned out really, really well, but using a grid, you end up with the same result with a lot less erasing and moving things around a little bit, because you're off by a couple of millimeters in one area, which sets everything off in other areas. So the grid helps you. It doesn't help you with your basic skills as an artist, but it does help you with your efficiency and organization of the image on the page. Sometimes I go on Facebook into Facebook art, pages, ink, pencil. I'm on a couple of different Facebook art pages just to appreciate people's work. And some people actually say using a grid is like cheating, and they're quite aggressive with their anti-grid position. Whatever you need to be creative is fair game. So if you want to use a potato, use a potato. If you want to use a grid, use a grid. So we're making slow progress here, but progress nonetheless. Bit by bit. Another thing is buying the tools that you need. So eventually you're going to buy a bunch of stuff that you think you need. And if you think you need it, you should go out and get it. And if you can afford to, buy something that you think is going to last. So, for example, as I showed you earlier, I went into the art store. I needed a T-square to do very large graphs. And I bought this heavy-duty beast. I spent a lot of money on it. 35 bucks might not be a lot for you. And I wouldn't feel so bad about it, and I wouldn't think of it as so much money if it turned out to be useful. But as I mentioned, when I brought it home, this top part was wobbly, so it kind of makes drawing grids, I don't know, maybe a friend of mine can fix it or something, but it's just super wobbly. The edges are super sharp. They dig into the paper if you just brush the paper in the wrong way with one of these edges, and you've got a hole in your page. So, I went out and bought what I thought was the best thing for me, and boy, was this an expensive lesson about, knowing what you need. But it's an unavoidable process, and don't sweat it if you buy stuff that it turns out you don't end up using. So just make sure that you put as much thought into your purchases as you can. And don't be afraid to ask the staff. At the shop for help. But sometimes you don't even know what to ask, So just be gentle with yourself, and you're going to buy stuff that you just don't use. And the other thing is that you might be concerned about is if you're working on something really big like this, and I mean for me this is big, but well, you might want to think of ways to go faster, and don't be afraid to try new ways of doing things. You know, to be honest with you, when I found C.J. Hendry, you know, I looked at her work, and I already had my own technique, so I wasn't worried about it. But I bought the paper she used, um, and after I figured that she had already gone through this process of buying paper that would have resulted in the best possible paper because she, at the time when I wrote her, was pretty well established. Now she's off the charts in terms of fame. And what happened was that I ordered a bunch of paper, the same paper that she was using, and it was really frustrating to use because the texture on it was so heavy, and um, it made using these really fine point pens on a heavy texture kind of challenging. And I eventually moved on to my own paper, something that's more suitable to me. And in fact, I don't know, I have a couple of sheets of this stuff that C.J. Hendry used to use, and that's not cheap paper, man. It's expensive. But sometimes, you know, you just got to let it go and move on to something that's easier for you and more suitable for you because that makes you more comfortable, and you know it increases your joy and happiness while you're working. Long story short, art can be expensive. An expensive journey, but I try to keep it cheap. So we're just wrapping up this show. We have about half an hour left. We'll be back here tomorrow. So we're going to do it Monday to Friday from 10 till 1 Pacific time. Yeah, every day. So we'll try to keep that rolling. I'll have to figure out how to like alert people to when I'm going online. I guess, yeah, I can alert subscribers somehow. I got to figure that out. So much stuff to learn. The idea for this show, I've explained the concept. The concept for the show is just an online space so that people can hang out together and draw. The idea for the show just kind of came up randomly. I thought of other YouTube shows that I would like to do. I'm more of a consumer than a creator in terms of like YouTube content. I've never done anything before like this. So there's some content that I wanted to create. And I just didn't feel like I was ready, or I didn't get around to it, or the way I wanted to do a presentation wasn't really coming to me. But the idea was there. I'm sure everybody thinks once in a while, what kind of page would I have if I had a YouTube page? Or what kind of channel would I have? So just out of the blue, this came up. And you know, I'm hoping that this experience makes me comfortable enough and gives me more confidence to make other content. Some of the more difficult content that I wanted to make, or something less, something that requires more planning, you know? Because I'm kind of doing this anyway. And I was thinking, you know, under the circumstances of COVID, there might be a lot of people out there that just don't have anyone to talk to. They're on their own, they're by themselves. Especially, for example, older folks. You know, this might sound a bit extreme for what this channel is about, but you know, their cognitive abilities decline if they don't have anything to engage with, right? So, not that I think I'm going to be attracting a lot of older folks, but I would be really happy if I did. You know, we want to be able to engage something during this period where we're kind of stuck at home, if you're stuck at home, and you know, collaborate and feel a sense of community, right? So, from the circumstances that we're all in together, this idea just popped up. So Come Draw With Me is kind of an obvious title. It's like, hey, come on, let's draw. Or play piano. Or write a script. Or plan a class. Or you could even play a video game. And I know that I'm really lucky to have a computer where I can, that has a camera and I can connect with live stream and do all this stuff. But it's really great if you can, if you can affect even just one person in a positive way with what you have available to you, then, you've done some good. It's funny, because I was going to start this channel a few days ago. And so I just thought you just log onto YouTube and you start. You just push live stream and you start streaming. But no, that's not it at all. You have to start your channel. And then once you create your channel, you have to wait, I think it's 24 hours. You have to wait 24 hours. So I had it planned to do one day, and then I was like, oh, well, now I have to wait 24 hours. So I came in, and I thought I was going to use my phone, and I can't use my phone because you can't use a mobile device unless you have 1,000 subscribers. I'm close. I just need 998 more subscribers. 3 hours ago, I needed 1,000. And so the 24 hours passed, and I came here to put my computer up on this little shelf here. And it was almost 10 o'clock. Time to do the live stream. And my plug could not reach the outlet. So I didn't have a proper power cord, extension cord. So I had to wait another day. Anyway, you just have to be patient, you know? Setbacks are setbacks don't care about your plans. All right, we are in the home stretch. We have just 19 minutes left. So 3 hours goes by pretty fast. You know, one of the things I was doing, I was thinking of doing was contacting my city hall, actually. I live in a pretty small town. Just letting them know about my channel, right? I mean, you got to think of ways to get people over here, you know, to hang out with, right? That's what will make it more fun. And I was going to go over to City Hall and say, hey, you know, Port Coquitlam right now. I live in Port Coquitlam. It's in Canada. Say, hey, by the way, you know, I have this channel. It's right here in Port Coquitlam. It's for people that want to draw or be creative or just hang out and chat. So maybe if I go to the grocery store, I'll stop by the City Hall and find out who I can send an email to. That would be hilarious. Hey man, you got to get exposure wherever you can get it, right? And because of COVID, and right now, because we have a lot of smoke in the air from fires south of the border, you know, there's a lot of people that can't go outside. So, you know, come on over here and come draw with me, right? If my 2 subscribers are still watching, thank you very much. Hope you guys are doing something relaxing. And I hope you can come back tomorrow. Oh, somebody's still hanging out. Chinese Eggman. Well, it's nice to see some comments. That's for sure. All right. Thanks for the comments on Darth Vader. He does look amazing. And hopefully by the end of the week, he's looking even better. Wow. 12 minutes left. My very first live stream. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. What a world, right? You know, millions of years ago, or I don't know, a long time ago, people were drawing on cave walls, having a good time, hanging out. And now we're live streaming. Basically the same thing. Oh, is it actually sunny out here? It's just bright, which is good. All right, 9 minutes left, folks. I am looking forward to a nice smoothie when this is done. I am hungry. You know, it's really nice to work and make progress. Sometimes my pens are just not working out for me, and then I don't feel like I made any progress. You know, that's part of it. Sometimes I have a day like that or a week. But you know, even when you're not making progress, progress is happening. You got to get through it. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, but you're actually, as long as you're applying yourself, 1% or 100%, you're making progress. What are we doing over here? Get a haircut. Get a haircut. I probably do need a haircut. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the comment, Mike. Yeah, I get a haircut. Which one, man? You just got to tell me which one, and I will cut it. Which one? I can't decide. You know, it's really hard. I love them all. Or maybe these ones here. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you might just tell me which one. I'll be there for you, baby. I'll get it cut. All right, guys, we are almost done. We are in the last 5 minutes of the beginning of our journey of Come Draw With Me. So, yeah, I'm just going to work like for 2 more minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Now you're just showing off. Well, you know, if you got it, right? We're all showing off, Mike. because we all have something, right? Right. Four minutes. Crazy. All right, so if you're into being creative and you want to keep at this, come on back tomorrow. I will be here from 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Pacific time until 1 a.m. That's 3 hours, right? 3 hours. That's great. Who doesn't want to be creative for 3 hours every day, right? That's what we want. So if this is working for you, please come on back. If you could really help me out to, it's so goofy, like and subscribe, of course. And if you're in any creative communities, doesn't matter what kind of community it is. I happen to draw, but everybody's got something that they like to do. Writing, yoga, whatever, doesn't matter what it is. If it's creative, get on in here and we'll hang out, make comments, talk to each other, and what you want to have happen after that is create opportunities, right? That's what we want to do for all creative people, is generate motivation, create enthusiasm, build happiness, right? That's how we go out into the world, and we're just good, happy people doing our thing because we come here and get creative, and that's what creates happiness. So, if this is your thing, come on back every day, make some comments, and you'd be surprised. It's not long before someone tweets out your stuff, and that tweet is seen by some random person on the other side of the world. Suddenly, you've got an email in your inbox, and someone's asking you to work with them because your craft is exactly what they need. So we start small, build a small community, work together, and slowly, build enthusiasm, keep that going, and then maybe, hopefully, someone finds an opportunity. If you know George Lucas, get him in touch with me. George, I got you on lock for all the Star Wars stuff you need. All right, guys, it's 12:59, so it's 1 o'clock. Gonna wrap this up. Thanks for coming. It's my pleasure to be here, and I hope that this project is a real success. So thanks for joining me for this journey, and we'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Take care and be safe, right? All right. Ciao, everybody. Peace. Bye for now.